Hey everybody! In today's video, I am going to rank the Metaslop characters that we all fear and despise. These characters can absolutely make your JP bar and HP bar go poof in a matter of a few seconds. And while other characters have to put effort into chasing, hitting or comboing, gaining experience and building some skill, meta characters can just get anything they want without breaking a sweat. Before we delve into this, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I am a very new creator, so your support is essential. I'm done talking, so let's get to the ranking. 10. Support Major. This girl can be infuriating, staying in the air, spamming her high damage alphas and healing her HP, but she is not as bad as she used to be. Her alpha damage has been reduced, so she is at least a tad less infuriating than before. Support Natures are easily overwhelmed and are rather easy to defeat in enclosed space. Her gamma is extremely punishable. Personally, I rarely have any problems defeating this character. Therefore, I put her in the 10th place, as I do not consider her as annoying as the characters that I am going to list next. 9. Armored All Might. This guy used to be monstrous once. He used to have 450 HP and could deal a ridiculous amount of damage in a short period of time. Now, things are a bit different. He still deals a decent amount of damage using his ice and fire attacks and can stun you to death. Furthermore, he has great vertical mobility, good area control and good range on his attacks. So why is he in the 9th place? This man has a large hitbox, takes some skill, aim and resource management, and he is not as brain-dead as other Metaslop characters. This character does not play the game for you after all his nerfs, and you can defeat him more easily in enclosed space, especially if you attack him as a full team. In addition, he is not played as much anymore, and you can barely see him in your lobbies. Therefore, you don't have to worry much about this character. 8. Young AFO. This assault character is not exactly a meta character, but since I see some people complaining about him being OP, I decided to include him here as well. This man can be troublesome, staying in the sky and raining down his skills upon you, knocking you back with his gamma, destroying your HP with his gamma skills combination, and demolishing you with his melee combos. Young AFO's mobility is rather decent. He has a good range, a good amount of HP and can stay in the sky for a long time, but the thing about him is he can be easily killed. From my personal experience, if Young AFO is focusing on someone else, you can throw projectiles on him and this character won't move away much until you have almost deleted his HP or he uses his real power. I consider his armor to be his biggest weakness against these kind of attacks. In general, this assault character is not threatening at all unless he is hard focusing you and you are playing solo. 7. Kaminari Denki. Striker Denki can easily stun you with his gamma, then destroy you with his alpha or beta, and I don't get how it's balanced in any way. I can't see any other option besides jumping out of his gamma's range and attacking him afterwards when facing one. The space hop can do you a great favor here. Alright, but what about his tech skill set? This character can stay on top of a building and throw his alphas all across the map. They have crazy tracking and deal a decent amount of damage. If you get close to him, he might stun you with his gamma, throw his traps all around you or simply deal with you using his alpha. If you start attacking him, he will run away in most cases, only to come back when you least expect it and when you have the least HP to your name. I don't know how to deal with him unless you are attacking him as a group. 6. Red Kirishima. This character barely has any weaknesses. He has impressive mobility, his shield is unbreakable, and his beta deals a humongous amount of damage, especially if it's followed up by his gamma, which can absolutely destroy you. His attacks are hard to roll out of, and you can't afford to get close to one most of the time, because it will cost you most of your GP and HP. In all my gaming history, I don't remember defeating one. And if I got hard focused by Strike Hiroshima, it would be pretty much over for me. I think he should be nerfed, at least the amount of damage he deals with his combo, and ideally his beta cancelling should be removed too. 5. Purple Shigaraki. A well-known meta and a brain-dead character. All he has to do is spam his abrasive skills all match, watch through walls, interrupt your healing, slam into people with his beta, and keep healing with his gamma. Almost everybody who uses Tech Shigaraki runs that awful revenge support tuning, practically becoming immortal. If he has a support Neijire on his team, be prepared, because he will stay alive no matter what you do. I had an experience with this kind of team. No matter how much I pressured that monster with my alphas, he wouldn't go down. Only then did I realize how broken he actually was. Still, in most cases, when pressured by a full team or not given a break, he can be beaten, so it's not the end of the world if you see him in your lobby. Overall, he is just very annoying. 4. Megant Lady. She is a very mobile striker character that can stay airborne for a decent amount of time, tracking her enemies down and picking them off one by one. Her cooldowns are almost non-existent, and the damage she deals with her skills is nonsensical. This character also has nearly deadly combos to work with. You can barely reach her, so if you are not using an airborne character, it will be extremely hard for you to defeat her while also dodging her attacks. This woman takes some skill to aim and more game knowledge than other meta characters do. Therefore, I can respect good Megant players just a little bit, but they are extremely troublesome anyway. 3. Purple Mirror. If only you knew how much this character irritates me, especially now that you can roll for him, and because of that, there are many people using this meta. His mobility is rather good. He can become unwinchable if things go wrong, permeate to his teammates and get out of any fight. However, that's not the only reason I think he deserves third place in this ranking. The main reason is his whole kit. His alpha is strong and makes him untouchable while allowing him to move freely all around and keep hitting you non-stop while you can't do a thing. You can barely roll out of his beta, and the only way to dodge it is with vertical mobility, which some characters in this game lack. The most outrageous thing to me though is his gamma, and god, it's absolutely hellish to deal with. What do you mean I can't hit you while you can punch me all around? What do you mean that if I want to hit your downy teammate, you can get in front of them, activate your gamma and make me regret everything? What do you mean I have to be paranoid every time I want to hit you because the tabs gave you a tool to down me almost instantly if I'm not careful enough? And what do you mean I can barely run away from you if you decide to target me? I don't remember him doing this in anime either. I believe that this character is rather hard to master because you have to manage your alpha skill and counters, and that he takes some skill, but at the same time I do believe that he is quite meta. 2. Strike Aizawa. It's pretty obvious why he's hated, and in fact he needs to be balanced now. His whole kit deals insane, and I really mean it, insane damage. His combos are devastating to both of your bars and are rather easy to come up with and land. Aizawa's special action is spammable now, which I don't think is good by any means because it disrupts your whole gameplay. Plus, his mobility is basically better than that of some rapid characters, making him a rather slippery target and an absolute monster to run away from. He can throw you into the storm like it's no big deal, slam into a bunch of people and down you before you can even comprehend what's happening. Even if you do, you can't do a thing about it, because your quark is already raised. Congratulations, you are dead. 1. Rapid Deku. You probably saw that coming. This is the embodiment of an OP Metaslop character that deserves nothing but nerfs. His kit is ridiculous, his damage is ridiculous, and his mobility is ridiculous as well. He has run 5 abilities, and one of them has goddamn tracking that will chase you until you are nothing but a pulp. His melee does ginormous damage, has loops too, and has absurd range, so you can't dodge it. You want to try and attack him? No you don't. This monster will knock you down with his alpha and then run away. The only thing that makes him easier to defeat is that players who use him usually don't possess much skill, but that's not always the case. As far as I know, in the series Deku would become immobilized if he used gear shift for too long. We don't see that in the game though, and as much as the game is not exactly lore accurate and has skill sets that don't match the anime at all, removing gear shift's weaknesses was absolutely foolish. Moreover, I think that adding gear shift Izuku into the game was an entirely wrong idea in the first place. This character makes no sense, making everybody in the lobby miserable with that overpowered kid of his. I don't think that the rabbit character should deal so much damage. My Hero Ultra Rumble has many overpowered characters, but Deku is a character who I believe should be deleted entirely from the game, and no matter what people say, skill issue or not, he must be dealt with, because this is absolutely not normal to me. As I already said, My Hero Ultra Rumble has a lot of overpowered characters. This video was made to rant about the current meta, give you some tips for countering these characters based on my own experience, and express my point of view on the game's imbalances. I really wish it would be balanced, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. Recently, Bandai released a new update patch that didn't really change anything, and the characters that were OP are still OP. I don't get why they would nerf AFO instead. I get that it's a free-to-play game, and maybe the devs don't have much motivation to really work on it, but I think they should listen to the community more if they want to make it better. Making a poll or two could help the situation. Remember that this is merely my perspective on all of this, and nothing I said applies to any people, nor was I trying to harass or insult anybody. Also, keep in mind that this script was written before the new patch came out. You can share your opinion down in the comment section below. Let's respect each other, and remember that My Hero Ultra Rumble is not that serious, it's just a game. That's it for now. Have a great day, game set.